Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Squires, and I am the host of the Let's Talk podcast, where we'll be focusing on the empowering and encouraging of individuals from all walks of life. Today's episode is entitled Conversation with a Journalist with our guest speaker, Ken Fuentes, sports reporter, TTT News, where we'll be covering sports, production, and events. Hi, Ken. Welcome to Let's Talk. How are you doing?
I'm good, Leah. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your program.
Explain to us what inspired you to become not just a reporter, but a sports reporter.
I think growing up, I've always been involved in sports in some way. I think life in itself is a sport. You always compete with each other for something. And growing up, I was always into stuff like track and field, watching on TV at the bowl and growing up. Funny enough, my career kind of started in a weird way. I guess I was looking for something that, I had a passion for, and journalism just happened to be it. And got an interview at TV6. Messed up the first interview, and the second try I got through. So career began. Could not even remember applying for the job, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been in the industry doing sports?
I think since 2006, 2007, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Could be before, but it's been a while. Got into it very young, and no regrets from my end.
Explain to us, how does the day-to-day procedures of a sports reporter? What are the day-to-day procedures for a sports reporter? What do you do?
So my day really begins at home before I leave to go to the office. I am up pretty early in the morning most times, probably up by at least 5 in the morning. Of course, your phone is your best friend. Mm-hmm. When it comes to try to get information. So, I check my regular sites, over a period of time. Mm-hmm. You kind of, your trusted sources. So I would probably go check BBC Sport, CNN, ESPN, things like Cricket Info, because, you want to get the latest cricket news. Twitter, of course, and social media has become a source of information, and we're living in that age where, things happen faster on social media. I then, depending on my shift, which normally begins between 9 and sometimes midday, I go to the office. I was told early in my career to always come with a story in your back pocket. Mm-hmm. So in a lot of ways, I think I'm a feature specialist. So when it comes to sport, I love the human interest side of it. So we're always looking for that, something different when the day comes that makes us unique. And of course, everybody has their own little, their own little corner. I like odd stuff. So I'll probably be looking for the weirdest things in sport, I love track and field, football, water sport, mm-hmm. Adventure stuff. Then I guess I report some supervisor what are my plans for the day, and we coordinate from there.
Mm-hmm. And how do you go about booking an interview with an athlete, per se?
So I guess over a period of time, as you get into the industry, the trust level you develop with a lot of people depends on how you may or may not get an interview. So over a period, when I now started, it was difficult to get interviews. Oh my God, with some of the top athletes in the country. But you develop a level of respect and trust with each other over a period of time. And sometimes it's just a simple phone call or a simple message, or sometimes, again, with experience, they reach out to you. Mm-hmm. With something they have going on. And, and as in my case, I think once it's something positive, I always, go for that kind of aspect. As I said, I like the human interest side of things. So, mm-hmm. You hear the report of a game or something to that extent. But I also, I like to tell a good story from zero to hero,
Explain some of the attributes that contribute to producing a good story. Like, what is a good sports story?
So there's a misconception that journalism is an individual field. I mean, from our experience, we know that. So first of all, you have to get people to buy into your idea of a story. You know, so I would throw the idea to my cameraman, well, head of department, and we work it, we tweak it, we decide how we're going to pursue it. Sometimes it could be as simple as a copy story, which is just reading words off a paper, or a voiceover, which is just words, video accompanied by words and packages, and then you go into stuff like features, which I like to do. And again, to us, I think as a journalist, sometimes you become a salesman, a saleswoman, salesperson, because you have to sell your ideas for people to buy into it. And of course, we in a competitive industry, so whenever you put out something, you want people to buy into it and watch it and say, hey, you know what, I could identify it. That's something Leah do, but I want to stay with that story, something to that extent.
Yeah. And how important would you say is time management as a journalist? Like, how important is time management?
Very important. Very, very important. It's a fast-paced industry, and depending, news happens in the blink of an eye. So the faster you get the story done, the better for you. Of course, it goes with good work ethic. Yeah, sorry, can I pause there for a minute?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So starting from the top, time management is crucial. I think it, as news happens in the blink of an eye, and at times, the faster you get the story out, the better. You want to ensure that it's fast, it's accurate, and you tell the important parts. You don't want to be boring with your presentation. You also don't want to give inaccuracies. There's always going to be part of the story you don't know, but having it as close as possible to the actuality or the truth in the story is, the best way to go about doing things. On average, I think, depending on the day, sometimes you may have one story. Sometimes, in my case, you may have multiple stories, or in your case, you may have multiple stories. So being time sensitive is very important in the industry, and it will help with the quality of the work you put out.
And I guess same as news with sport, you have to keep on top of the new trends and everything that's happening surrounding sports.
Every single thing, news never stops.
Yeah.
So I remember in the past, I'd be in a line and, hey, why are you checking your phone, boy? It's like, yo, you become a junkie, though. You still want to know everything. You always checking your phone all hours in night when you want to go after us. When people want to hang out on a weekend, you want to go after the story, whether it be Toko, Miyaro, some other country or something like that. You just want to go because is what excites you, and for me, that's it. Yeah. Social media again is a big thing. I guess to me, so the best solution as Netflix for information would be normally Twitter, or Instagram, something, even Facebook, So it just never stops, and you just have to, as I say, people find us weird because we're in the middle of a line or in carnival time and you're checking your phone to see what's going on because what is this? What you about it? I would always say journalism chooses you, and it's a lifestyle.
Now let's switch over to the production side of things. So explain to us what made you decide that you wanted to not just report but produce?
We are storytellers at the end of the day, and to me, the production side of it helps you piece together the story from in all aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a producer in some way to me is like a director.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what it looks like behind the lens of my cameraman. I want to ensure that my story has a flow in the script. I want to know that my sound is good.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you cannot have OCD or about how proper, how perfect you want this thing to be. And that excites me. Just wanting to get to put together the story from beginning to end and see it materialize as a team.
Yeah.
As a lot of times people think it's just us alone in front of the camera,
Mm-hmm.
but behind the scene, you have your cameramen, you have your editors, you have your directors, everybody working to make sure that your crazy idea is put together. And I guess that is why I wanted to get involved. I love being on the production side of things.
Yeah. Share with us some of the things that you have worked on in producing.
Wow, quite a lot. I would say probably I could give you, if it's cool, I could give you like a few of my favorite pieces and just break them down a bit.
Sure, no problem.
One being the piece that I won my first national award with, Wives of Checkmate. I am a huge powerboat fan, and Checkmate was one of the top boats we had here in Trinidad and Tobago over the years in the Great Race. And the whole entire crew died over a period of time. So I had the opportunity to speak to the wives of that team. And they, had them sit down and tell the story of how their husbands were involved in racing. And it was touching, because they said at times you would hear things like, hey, downstairs my house was put in the hospital after the Great Race because the back damage so bad they can't go upstairs in the bedroom, they can't walk. And just to know the life, being someone who's into water sport, the life that these men lived, adventurous but exciting life at the same time, and they follow their passion, which I guess is something we all do. Anything we get involved. I would say my next two favorites. Sometimes it's not it's not actually something that someone won, but what they did. I remember being in St. Kitts for track and field, and there's this kid, Jonathan Farinia, probably the best youth sprinter we had at the time. And he was going through some injury problems, and he decided to run the relay. And when they ran the relay, the team won bronze. And I remember when he ran his individual race, he pulled up. So we were having dinner the night in the hotel, and I was like, yo, I've always admired you, but I say, why did you run the relay? And he turned to me and he says, you know what? He said, boy, you say, kid, by years is here. And the relay is 4 places, right? I say, yeah. He said, right. Then 3 other fellas will probably never win a medal in their life and be a track at this level. So if I can help them leave, St. Kitts with 1 medal, I am happy. And I really appreciated the genuineness and what he accomplished, he managed to do. And thirdly, I think kind of a tie, Keishwan Walcott winning gold and being a young journalist experiencing us qualify for a World Cup.
I know you do some work for the TTT Morning Show. Explain how has that experience been for you thus far?
Whew, boy, we all get into a comfort zone at times, right?
Yeah.
So I hated being in front of the camera. And I remember my former boss, Lisa Wickham, she was like, you know what? Actually, Paul Richards got me involved in the morning show initially. And then it was revived under Lisa Wickham. And she was like, you know what? I know you don't really like being in front of the camera, but this is an opportunity for you. So it took me out of my comfort zone. Sitting in front of a camera and feeling nerve-wracked in the first instance. And then, the guys on the show, they were like, yo, you're good at it. You're not putting your own horn, but the guys were like, you know what? you're good at what you do, just think about it as, doing what you love, and it became more comfortable from that aspect. Develop a bit of a falling for something crazy. I decided that I like locally printed t-shirts. People were sending me t-shirts and t-shirts with local seeds, and it was fun, and that to help me develop a level of comfort. And again, it's an opportunity to tell someone's story a little more in depth and stuff. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and it became so much fun, and it still is fun.
Yeah. And in terms of, let's say, covering events, do you all take the same approach as the news, or is there a different approach when covering events?
So you always look for, there's two aspects, two or three or multiple aspects, I would say, of it. I would, so with news, you have to be, I guess, a little more direct. So you get the major talking points, whereas with the morning show, I am allowed to go a little more in depth. So whereas I can just tell you the basics, ABC on news, on the morning show, I probably go A to Z. So it's like, I get to tell the story, I get to show a little more, I get to change my shots a little more, I make it more relatable. This happens so fast, sometimes we forget the story. But I think for the morning show, it gives people a chance to sit down and digest what they just saw and really relate to the story.
So what are some of the advice you would give to a young and upcoming journalist, or let's say sports reporter?
Be brave, right? In this industry, you have to have a lot of prayer, patience, and persistence. That is one of my mottos. Always remember what you are doing to is a blessing. One of my favorite proverbs is a Chinese proverb. Life and death is ordained, but riches are a blessing from heaven. And you are blessed to be in a position to be able to help people. Always take self out of it and put the person first, or put the story first. We're not telling you a story, we're telling their story. Pursue your dreams, and no is a temporary word, right? In my opinion. If someone tells you, not everybody's going to tell you no. So if an opportunity, goes past you in the first instance, don't take that no as a death sentence. Take that no as an opportunity also to improve yourself and to be more persistent with what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you're telling someone's story, but you are doing this for you. It is something you love. It is something you want to get into. And this is really, it's about you come in, part of it, You are doing this for you. It is your career, but build it the right way. Don't be selfish, Don't be afraid to say no to that story, because there are times you need to put your family first. We are away from our families a lot, and it's something I've learned to do over a period of time, where I just say no to things at times, because you miss too much of moments. There are moments you don't want to miss at all.
Yeah.
And so it's a combination is life, and for me, as I said, my biggest advice would be brave, pursue your dreams, pray, and be patient.
Okay. And thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule to join us on Let's Talk. And we hope to have you again.
No problem, Leah. Thank you so much, and all the best to you and your podcast. Really nice start, and thanks for having me again.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Talk. Join us again with me, Leah Squires, for another episode of Let's Talk.